Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Relax with Sharonda Faye. And today we're going to be talking about my paternal side because I got my DNA results and quite naturally I got some questions. One thing that I would love to do is to start off by thanking my Aunt Mildred from Washington D.C. because she's the one that compiled so much information to pretty much give out to everyone on the at the family reunion. I haven't attended, but my dad did attend, the last one, and I want to share some of that information as I'm thinking about my DNA results. All right, so her great grandfather and my grandmother Dorothy's great grandfather is this man here. This is Albert Williams. Okay, and just to share a little bit of history of what Aunt Mildred compiled as far as legend goes, is that Albert Williams' family history, as we know it, South Carolina was the place. The time was between early and mid 1800s. One legend has it that Albert Williams and his ancestors came by way of the West Indies. However, it was more than likely that did did not his forefathers did and not him. Another legend states that there was a young black slave girl who was sent to the plantation every day to attend the cattle, for they were not allowed to attend school. One day she was molested by one of the plantation owner's sons, and because of this incident, she gave birth to twin boys. Their names were Albert and Aaron. As a result, or as the story goes, their father proclaimed that he would not go to his deathbed without them having his name. Aaron Williams, as it is said, moved to Florence, South Carolina, and became a very well-known taxi driver. His brother Albert resided in Marion, South Carolina, and became its first black school teacher. Albert was born somewhere between the years of 1850 and 1852. He was 21 years older than his first child, Hannah. Albert had 10 children, as you can see from the family tree. Okay, so I have a copy of that family tree, y'all, and it's upside down. And here it is. Can you see that? Family of Agnes and Albert Williams. I'm going to go down slowly. And by all means, you all, pause it if these names sound familiar or look familiar. Pause it and leave a comment below. Okay. All right. So, like I said, quite naturally, I have some questions as I got my DNA results. I'm going to get that information in the next part of this video. And I'm also going to go to ancestry.com and research some more information about Albert Williams to see if some of this adds up. We have our family tree here on my dad's side, and to see if I can get a good census record on him. So I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Okay, so here's the record for David Williams here. That's the father, farmer. He was 71. Albert's right underneath. He was mulatto male, 28, son. But I see that Albert and his father, they're both listed as farmers here on the 1880 census. Okay. And it also says, before I clicked on this screen, that Albert was indeed born around or about 1852. So what are some of these other things we have here? So this column, we can clearly see that Albert is David's son. I guess that's household or father or something. I don't know what that stands for. I guess father, maybe. And let's see, this column here. Okay, so it says that David Williams was either widowed or divorced. Albert was married, both farmers, and that Albert was born in South Carolina, but Dad was from Alabama, and his parents were from Alabama. His mother was also from Alabama. So that's interesting there. And what is this right here? Let's go up to see. Okay, so Albert could not read. I'm lying. David, Albert's father, could not read or write. Uh-oh, I think I lost my record. He could not read or write, but it says that David and Agnes could both read and write. So that's interesting. So, I'm not sure if he became a teacher later on, but with him knowing how to read and write, maybe he possibly taught others how to read and write. So that's some interesting information. Now, I want to go over to my next screen, and hopefully this thing won't stop sharing. No, it didn't. Okay, good. So this is my ancestry results, and I try to click on the regions by parent. Okay, and as you can see, Nigeria, 14% on dad's side, Benin and Togo, 8%, Western Bantu people, 6%, Cameroon, 12, Ivory Coast and Ghana, 2, Senegal, less than 1%, England, Northwestern Europe, 4%, Ashkenazi Jew, 2, Yorubaland, 1%. And this is really interesting with the Nigerian ancestry, because my ex-husband, who is from Nigeria and Igbo, when he first saw my father, he was like, "Oh, your dad looks like a Yoruba man." I'm like, "What?" And so he always told me that I looked more like I was also from Nigeria, but also Indian as well. So I think that it's interesting. He was able to look at me and kind of, hint at where I'm from. With my mother and my dad's side, it's like 24%, Nigerian, you know. But let's go back to what I was talking about. It says, I said, yeah, Yorubaland, 1%, um, Indigenous American or American Indian, 1%. So it kind of, makes sense there. The legends that Aunt Mildred wrote about, from what she knew concerning her great grandfather being, West Indian descent and European descent, or possibly, the rape or molestation that she talked about. I mean, what really happened? That's a big a mystery. And also, I find it really interesting that, Albert Williams' father came from the Alabama area. So I'm going to have a lot of more researching to do and see if I can find out more about David's parents, if possible, and or his wife. But he may not have had a wife. I mean, if the legend is true that it was a molestation, or or what, but it's really interesting. So I will try to see what else I can find, and I'll maybe do a part two on this. I'm going to definitely ask some family members and continue to search on Ancestry. But I hope that you all like this information. I hope you're encouraged to do some research on your own concerning your family lineage. And if you recognize some of the names, like I stated earlier, and have more information, you can put it in the comments below. Use this information as you will to link to your family trees. That's quite all right with me. Let's just get this conversation started. I think the story is really interesting, and I think there's a lot more that I need to learn about my ancestors. So that brings us to the close of this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.